So we got voicemails, Ian, that you can leave us, and you go to anchor.fm/the podcast, and you can leave us voicemails. You can compliment my hair out there, those lovely people. You can ask us questions, and it's a good time. We're gonna have a good time. So we're gonna go through some right now. We're gonna start with Brian here. If I can scroll down and find Brian on here, it's always hard to find the first one here. Brian. I did not have it queued up, unfortunately. Here is this Brian? Here's Brian.
This is Brian from Amish Country, Pennsylvania, coming at you live from Lancaster as I listen to the most recent podcast. I just wanted to say that I love what you guys do. Pat, I've met you several times at Too Many Games, and you need to do something about that intermittent fasting because your mouth is always watering when you talk food. So maybe have like a stick of cheese or a granola bar or a pack of Skittles to hold you over. Ian, you are fantastic. Have a great day.
Well, thank you.
You know what I love that Amish country ice cream. It's like the best thing ever. Here's the thing about me eating a podcast. People hate when I would eat yogurt or chew on something. Like, well, no, so I can't do it. I got to suffer. I
think he wants you to do it beforehand.
No. I got an intermittent fast. It's fantastic, intermittent fasting. I recommend it to all the guys out there to do that there. But I appreciate you looking out for me there. All right, this is from David here.
Hey guys, love the podcast, but I have to take umbrage with your blatant disrespect of fine Scottish band Big Country. You'll know that they have 9 studio albums, 18 live albums, 25 compilations, 29 singles and counting because they're still releasing new music, of which In a Big Country wasn't even their biggest hit in most of the world. It was Look Away, which came out a couple years later. They continue to tour, release new music today, although with a new singer since Stuart Adamson passed away. So take it back, guys. They're a fine, thriving Scottish band.
What are you, the fan club president, David?
All right, I take it back.
I don't take back anything. First of all, you should never continue a band when the lead singer dies. Like, you should never do that. That almost never works out.
I agree that you should not. I find that replacing lead singers is very, very difficult. However, I mean, I understand. I mean, we're not the entire world. They probably had a huge run elsewhere.
Well, in this country, Big Country was a one-hit wonder. I never heard of Look Away in my life.
I'll look it up afterwards.
Hey, Ian and Pat. This is Gorian from Toronto. I do a podcast on Screen Rant every other week, and this week we discussed best year in movies. I picked 1997 because Con Air and Face Off. Need I say more? Probably. My question for you two is, what are some possible best years for gaming, eh? All right, boys, take it easy.
Oh, if 97 is your best year because of Face Off and Con Air, woo, okay. Anyway, I like Con Air, but you know those are like the higher end popcorn movies to me there. So what's your favorite? If you had to pick one year for gaming, what would it be?
Oh, I'm trying here. Okay, I want to go with 2000, because I don't have any year that I remember like clearly like a bunch of things coming up, but I remember it seemed like a bunch of good games came out around the year 2000. So my reasoning for this: the Dreamcast came out in summer of '99. It was in full gear by the 2000 winter, so that would have been a bunch of really good arcade ports. It would have just been a good year for gaming because the Dreamcast was, for its only moment in time, a hot system. Looking at games that actually came out in 2000, I'm seeing Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2, which is my favorite in the series. Final Fantasy 9, which I knew came out in 2000 and is one of my reasons for picking 2000. It's one of my favorite RPGs of all time. Diablo 2 came out in 2000. I love Diablo 1 and Diablo 3. I need to give Diablo 2 a chance, but I feel like it's a good argument for 2000 is a good year in gaming. And I believe Pokemon Gold and Silver was released in the US in 2000 as well, which I put a lot of time into. So yeah, I'm going to just kind of say 2000 without doing a whole lot more research.
1993. And that's a year I thought of. Then I actually looked at the list. I'm like, this is better than I thought.
Doom's in 93, isn't it?
It is in 93. Yeah. Unless you're Rue, you don't like it. It's Rue. In the arcade in 93, Mortal Kombat 2 came out. This is like the last hurrah for arcade stuff, basically. Like early mid-90s. You had Samurai Showdown come out. You had Ridge Racer. You had Virtua Fighter. You had NBA Jam come out in 93. We're talking like this is the last, like the Bronze Age of arcades, basically, at this point. X-Wing comes out in the PC. Star Fox comes out in Super Nintendo. Seventh Guest, so the rise of CD-ROM gaming. Link's Awakening on Game Boy. The Game Boy stuff you like right there. Myst, Day of the Tentacle. So the PC gaming getting big. You still had NES release. You had Mega Man 6. So NES was hanging on for dear life. So you had this combination of everything. Arcades being at its final heights, we'll just say, there. PC gaming really taking over, at least for Pat personally, it was taking over from console games there. But you still had Super Nintendo and Genesis and stuff like that. That's the year. It's 93. And I thought of that. I went right to it. And it didn't let me down. 93 is that year. All right. Next.
G'day, boys. My name's Dave Lover from Australia. My mates call me Uncle Chook. Just ringing in to say Arctic Adventure has to be one of my favourite games. Yes, it's an absolute cracker. If you haven't played it, I suggest either downloading the emulator or whatever you have to do, because it's quite a rare game these days. I actually traded it in and got myself a new pie warmer and some Red Bulls a few years ago. Spewing, eh? Anyway, you guys are doing a fair dinkum good job. You're top blokes. And strike me pink if you ever stop doing what you're doing. So when I'm out there busting a gut on site, chuck you guys on and it's all good. So.
That was super Australian. I love it. There was like so many expression there I couldn't keep track. He's going to do what to our pinky?
I don't know.
What did he say?
I don't know.
Well, let me go back to that one. He's going to strike a pinky if we quit.
You're top blokes, and strike me pink if you ever stop doing what you're doing.
Strike me pinky.
Strike me pinky. Thank you, Uncle Chuck.
I think someone's played it up for the recording.
No, I think that's how Australians are, and I love Australians.
I do
too.
too.
So if you're in Australia, remember, there's a way to tell. If you like Psycho Fox or Arctic Adventure HES game, which didn't come out here. There you go. Next.
Hi, guys. Shane here from Dublin, and
loving the
just want to ask you guys, did you know of a guy in your area called Roger English? He lives in the San Diego area, and he holds the world record, or he held it, for playing Pong for the longest amount of time. He also holds a bunch of other world records, and he's right around the corner from you, and I'm pretty sure he owns one of the earliest video game related world records.
Oh. So
I thought it'd be interesting for you guys to hook up, and maybe you could ask him about it, do a little interview or something. His hostel is in the Mission.
Oh, I'm not going to go to information. We'll look into that, Shane. All right, Floyd.
Hey guys, I was wondering if you knew it existed and what your thoughts were on the randomizer communities of old NES, SNES games, like Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past, Super Metroid, Ocarina of Time type games. Thanks.
So I don't know much about the randomizer community. It sounds cool because you can basically play the game brand new with everything in different spots. I don't know much about it though.
I don't know a lot about it. However, Vonnie's brother came over the one day with his laptop, and he had been messing around with a Zelda 2 randomizer. And we had some fun with that. Zelda 2 is a very hard game to begin with, and the randomizer can automatically throw you into some really tough, really sticky situations.
The second quest is close to impossible.
Yeah.
Second quest is tough.
So it's something that I would like to do more of. Truth is, I'm not good enough. I don't consider myself good enough at many of the base games to feel like I need a randomized mode. But I do think it's neat that people have created these that, actually spit out playable versions that are all jumbled up.
A lot of bush burn in Legend of Zelda if you don't know where everything is.
So,
blue candle.
Very neat, just not something that I do much of.
All right. Let's see. Who is next here? I just lost it. I just lost the order here where I was at. Gaming's best years. Uncle Chuck, Chaz. Oh, here we go.
Hey, Pat. Hey, Ian. Huge fan of the show. Been listening since you guys first started the podcast many years back. Your podcast gets me through all my subway commutes each and every week.
Woo!
One question I've always wanted to ask. what is your guys' opinion on Space Shuttle Project on the NES? Thank you guys again for all the hard work always.
Fucking love Space Shuttle Project.
I think it's neat.
It's an NES Marathon classic.
Yeah, it's a very neat game. I mean,
I have it, Ian.
I don't know that I would necessarily have loved it if I got it as a child.
Oh no, I would have hated it.
But specifically, I mean, all of my experience with it is almost entirely through the marathon, and I've played it a little bit myself. And it's a neat game. It's a fun game. It's more of a
cracker.
It's more of a fun concept than anything, but I think it's a lot of fun to play on the marathon. It's a lot of fun to watch.
We got to the fourth
stressful.
stage, didn't we? Last time the marathon.
Last time
I got the solar panel finally in. That was the hard thing when you got the.
I thought you beat it last time. I thought we finally completed.
There's like 4 missions or 5. I gotta look it up, but we got farther than we ever did.
Yeah. We made. All I know is that last time we made it very far. I just can't remember if we finished.
Because as a little guy, you do the mission with a satellite mission is impossible. Then after that, you have to like replace the panels. Around, and that's actually easier. That satellite one stinks because then you got to replace the satellite. And it has to open up, and the things crash into it.
Yeah, the timing on it is tough. I know we passed that last time.
Yes, we did. We got to like the 3rd or 4th mission, but I don't know after that. It's a fine game.
It's a neat game.
We'll do one more for this one. This is from Daniel.
Pat, Ian, it's Daniel again.
I think was Daniel the one that almost doxed himself, who wanted to buy my games. I think that's who Daniel was.
I don't know.
The first time.
Quick question for you guys: with such large video game collections, record collections, stuff of that nature, how do you guys handle house guests? Do you let people just come in and out of like whatever room you have all of your stuff in? Just an interesting thought. Ian, you're the shit, man.
What about me, Daniel?
Thanks, Daniel.
I don't get any comments. Visitors at the house, they're not as common as they used to be. So my games are like in their own, thankfully, not like my condo, which they were spilling all over the place. The games are like, for the most part, they're just in this one area for the most part. So it's hard to like stumble upon them. And I don't have, even before COVID, it's not like I have a huge amount of house guests over. But I guess you're concerned about someone stealing something or breaking something. Like if that's a concern, unless you're an expert at this stuff, you wouldn't know where to start. If you just walked in and you'd be like, what the fuck is this stuff? You'd be overwhelmed probably.
Sure.
You know, think about it, if you're not a video game collector, you walk in this room and you're like, what is this shit? Like, what is it? It'd be like foreign to you. You wouldn't know where to look. For someone who would know what this stuff is, I would not have someone over unless I would trust everyone I have over. I would not invite someone over, at least not have eyes on them if I didn't trust them. We'll just say that. I just wouldn't. That's just common sense for anyone over at your house. Like if I have a plumber over, they're probably not gonna like wander in and start playing a game, you know, or hey, I'm gonna pick up Space Shuttle Project and play. I don't see that happening. So I'm not gonna say that you should always watch out for that. You should always be, especially if you have stuff of value laying around. You know, Ian's got like a few $1,000 games like right behind him, for example. So I mean, it's just something I guess you have to, just like in real life, you gotta be aware of like who's around you, like who's in your house.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really worry about it. This isn't my late teens or my early 20s where, you know, my apartment was essentially a flop house and weird people were coming in and out regularly. I know everyone who comes to the apartment, you know, where I live. I trust all of the people Vonnie has over. Vonnie trusts all the people I have over. And honestly, the people that we have over are often part of the same friend group anyways. I'm more than happy. I'm happy when people come over and start flipping through my records. I have them out, you know, on shelves in the living room, because if you enjoy music, I want you to get curious and go up there and start flipping through the records and seeing what I have and seeing if there's stuff that's interesting to you. It's a hobby of mine that I care about, and you know, I'd like to talk about it. It's certainly better than talking about myself. And same with like my PC Engine games. It is like Pat says, I take care of my stuff, but I bought this stuff to be used. I never bought any of this stuff with the idea of it being kept separately, you know, and held on to until it reaches a certain value that I would then sell. My copy of Sapphire for my PC Engine is on my shelf next to all of my other next to all of my other PC Engine games. I don't have it in a special spot. Some of my more valuable records, like my bootleg Mega Man 2 soundtrack, it's in there with all the other records. It's all the same to me. It's all to be used and to be enjoyed, and the fact that it's worth something now, or depending on what it is that I may have paid something for it, it's mine now, and I don't get real picky about that stuff. If someone had just eaten a large sub sandwich and immediately started to go rummaging through my records, I'd be like, could you wash your hands? But I'm not worried about people touching or picking stuff up.
I wouldn't let someone in my house that was eating a sub sandwich. You finish that outside. They're sloppy. Remember the old Blimpie sub? Oh, that lettuce falls. Oh, I love Blimpie subs. Intermittent fasting. My mouth's starting to water. I should have ate a granola bar beforehand. Well, thanks for the topics. Thanks for leaving us a voice message. Go to anchor.fm/the CU podcast.